Hello, hello. Welcome to episode 55 of Wise Wednesdays with RK. My name is Ruqayya Khan. I am known as the Smile Strategist. I have been hosting these interviews on my platform since the 1st of April 2020 actually. And the interesting thing is, I thought today let's do something different. We've had listeners from literally around the world. So I said, I open the floor today to those of you who would like to join the conversation. And the very first message I received was from Prabha.
Hello,
And
everyone.
she Hello. So she said, I would love to be on the show. And I said, your wish is my command. So today we are talking about getting from feeling stuck to unstuck. And this should be very interesting to hear from her. And without taking up more of your time, I would like to know from you, Prabha, have you ever been stuck in life?
Yes, definitely. I don't think that there will be any human being who will not feel stuck. And
True
if
that.
he's so, he's telling a lie.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. So I think the first thing that comes to mind when I say, feeling stuck is to actually accept the fact that you're feeling stuck, right? And coming to a place of humility about it, that yes, I am going through a challenge, or I am facing this situation where I don't know what to do next. So tell us about you, Prabha, so that the viewers know who you are, what you do, how you got to connect to the show, and a little bit more about yourself, please.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I'm Commander Prabhalan, a retired naval officer. I served in the Indian Navy for 17 years. I was into the education, administration, and the training field. And I'm into right now motivation speaking because I feel my smile is contagious. I can't leave the room without smiling. And I think I can engage people with my words and I can inspire them to take actions. That is which I feel. And before being a speaker, I am a good listener. I feel it's equally important to listen. First, you should be a good listener, then only you can be a good speaker. You can empathize with people only when you listen to them. That's what I feel. And
True.
coming to your question, definitely. In my life, I also faced so many situations wherein I felt I was stuck. One of them was choosing my career. When I am from a, my dad was in the railways. So none of my family members were in the defense. And I am the first woman in my entire family to join the defense forces. And it was really a big step for me. I was stuck taking the decision whether to go for it. My family members were not for it because not even a lady, even a male did not join the defense forces. And it was a big thing
Wow.
for them. And since my dad was a central government employee, he definitely wanted to me to be in the central government. So I had to, sometimes you feel when you are stuck, it is actually an opportunity for you to fight back. You should
Hmm.
not stick one place. Find the ways and means to come out of that thing. It's there's a word called detangle. If you are entangled, take baby step. You have to convince, tell the pros and cons, and somehow I convinced my father, and today here I am. So,
Super.
the clock is actually a big inspiration for me. Whenever I always keep a wall clock or a table clock in front of me. What does a
Hmm.
table clock do? The wall clock. It doesn't stop, it keeps moving. So, we should be inspired by that. Take baby step, one thing at a time, 1 second at a time, and just move forward. You'll definitely find your way. There will be some hopes or will be some avenues and you'll have to just find it out. That's what I feel. Don't get stuck in your past, move ahead.
Move ahead. So great. I love what you're saying about moving ahead and getting from feeling stuck to unstuck. Okay, now for you, you were able to convince your dad, you were able to have a career right now. You're even motivating people with your words, your talks. Now, what about that person who is right now in the thick of it, who really is there? So what is that um, tool that they can use to just
I
be
feel
kind to themselves?
first and foremost thing, wherever you are, it's not that suddenly you are going to climb the top of the mountain. First, analyze where you are. Accept the situation. First is acceptance. Yes, as you mentioned,
Yep.
acceptance is very much important. Once you accept, then analyze and then start taking baby steps. You also need to take a break, close your eyes. Like in my case, whenever I feel low, I feel water is a big therapy. I mean, maybe from my background, what I do, I just go sit besides the any seashore, or if it is not available, then I just click on any music which is related to fountain. So water is a big therapy for me. Even sometimes you open the wash basin tap, close your eyes and stand for a moment. That water is very soothing. Or sometimes I just pick up my daughter's coloring book and just some crayons and just start coloring what I used to do it long back. So that also gives me, sort of a therapy, a break going back. Take short breaks, and then you will, if you, it's also said, sleep over a problem. Things will settle. You'll always find a way. It has to be. You can change your attitude. Your perspective has to change. Maybe you're not looking at from a different angle, like in the present situation or otherwise also. You may be from an old school of thought. In the present circumstances, maybe you're using an old formula which cannot be applied today. Like today is the digital world. We are being connected through this digital thing. But if a person who is using the traditional mode of speaking or teaching, if he relies to that, he cannot connect with people. So you have to change. Change is something which is really important. You should be
True.
ready to change. That's what I feel.
So true. And I think, going on that note, this is what I also thought. I thought, let's change the format today. I always have one guest speaker and we talk on one solid topic, because based on their expertise or whatever they want to bring to the table, and it's always insightful. However, today I thought it would be lovely, because usually when people are listening, they have comments coming in, and I just thought, wouldn't it be nice if we could bring in the listeners into the conversation and actually share with them and hear from them, instead of just read the comments. So thank you for accepting, and thank you for being the very first speaker on this relay of thoughts and conversations that we're going to have on one episode. Really value your time. Where are you tuning in from, for our listeners to know?
Delhi.
Beautiful. So thank you so much once again for your time. And now we are going to move to the next speaker, who yes, and thank you so much. Thank you, Prabha, for your time. Welcome, Alia.
Hey, how are you, Rukaya? How's everything?
Um,
Thank you for this
ah,
beautiful honor.
Thank you so much. So yes, thank you for accepting, and thank you for being part of this conversation. Very experimental. We are going to have different speakers from different parts of the world who have been listening to the show, and the topic for today is moving from feeling stuck to unstuck. And before we jump into the topic, I'd love for you to share with our listeners and the viewers joining us on the live and later on the replay a little bit about yourself. What do you do, and where are you based? What would you like to bring to the conversation?
My name is Ali, and I live in Saudi Arabia. And I actually, in the beginning, when I first started my career, I started out to be an architect. And then after that, I changed my career completely, left everything in architecture, and I started to study therapy, and I became obsessed. So I became obsessed with coaching and therapy and healing, to the point that I looked in all the modalities that are possible, and I ended up with having over 50 diplomas, certificates, and degrees when it comes to therapy, coaching, and healing. And that's what I actually do. And at the current moment, this last year, This 2020, I had a spiritual awakening, so I became more conscious and more aware and more connected to the universe after that. So I guess that was always in line with me, and that was my destination and my destiny to be at the current moment.
Super. So when when I say moving from feeling stuck to unstuck, have you ever felt stuck in life?
Definitely, definitely. I mean, I come from a culture and a background where your parents dictate your life and dictate who you have to be and what career you have to choose and what you have to be in life and what titles you need to do and what success you need to achieve in life. And if you're not, then you're not good enough. And that's all where it came from, me studying architecture, because I didn't want to disappoint my family. But and I felt that this is not me. I'm not this architect. I'm good at it. I do perfectly in it. I mean, I do projects that people dream of me doing, but I don't feel me. It's not me. So I felt stuck. I was like, then who am I? Who am I? What is it that I like to do? What is my talent? What are my strengths? So I found that I was really stuck. And I found that all I had was pleasing my parents and pleasing the people around me, that I forgot who I am and what's my identity. So, yes, typical. I think a lot of cultures around the world can relate to that one. And to be honest, I was really stuck. I was really, really stuck. But it's only when you align with yourself, you align with truly who you are, you align with your personality, with your gifts that's been given to you, is when you become more and more able to unwind and get out of that path of being stuck. And
Hmm.
there's going to be a lot of resilience, a lot of people against you. I mean, my father wouldn't talk to me for a while when I told him that I'm going to leave all my architecture and go and pursue this. My father thought that I was going crazy or having maybe a early midlife crisis. But I felt in tune to it.
And it's interesting you're talking about this because just some time back when we had Prabha on board, she had the same scenario. And in fact, she's still in the backstage. I'm just going to bring her back because I love this. So, Prabha, you were talking about the same situation where, you had to convince your dad of getting into the army, and and it was a bit of a struggle. Now, the reason I brought her on board as well is because I faced the same dilemma. My mom wanted me to be a doctor. Imagine being a doctor, and to shift all the way from looking at that world to now being someone who actually trains doctors. I mean, I have run workshops at hospitals for the medical staff to train them on mindset, to train them based on my smile strategy. So yes, sometimes it's so important to look at where we're feeling stuck, why we're feeling stuck, and doing something about it. So awesome. Yes, ladies, what are your thoughts? So when you felt stuck, what did you do? I know Prabha had to convince her dad. What did you do?
I tried to build the strength and be more resilient so that I could stand up to talk to my dad, because it's not an easy thing. I mean, it can be very difficult at times, and when they're not convinced with it, it's as well even equally as difficult. So standing up was a
Yes.
difficult one. Building the courage to do that one. And then feeling that, you know what, this is what I really want to do in heart and proceed. That's a lot of thinking, and because you have those little boxes that society puts you in, that you have to, as you said, Ruqayya, your mother wanted you to be a doctor, my dad wanted me to be an architect, and they have these titles that they want you to achieve, and it's just like, but that's your titles, your dreams, and not mine. So
True.
that's a difficult one. Yes, it was a
That
difficult
was
one.
definitely a difficult one for me. I think life took over because I got married, and then that whole the whole fizz of, oh my God, she's going to be a doctor kind of boiled down because when I had to do, I did my exams, etc. I fell ill, so I couldn't, I couldn't get the admission. And then obviously I got married, and then I came here, and then life took a different journey of its own. So yes, it is important to just understand what is your calling and where your heart really beats and feels filled with gratitude, filled with acceptance and love. So that's super important. Prabha,
That, sometimes it's important to tell the truth. in the moment. We should not feel what the other person is going to think. Once you let loose of what is within you will feel lightened, and there is a chance, around 99% chance, that the other person may understand you. If he loves you, he'll definitely understand you. You can be stuck in a situation or circumstances or in a relationship, anything. You can be stuck anywhere. Right now, the word stuck, you know what comes to my mind? The Suez Canal container ship. It was stuck.
Yes,
Evergreen
that
ship.
is.
You
Yes,
recall?
yes.
Yes.
Yep.
So when that thing was stuck and there were lots of things going on in the internet, that life is going to come to a standstill because of this pandemic, and also the cargo cannot move and it is going to be a dominoes effect. So the supply chain management will be affected, blah blah whatever. But then you must have seen a small in number, a dredger kind of thing which was placed, ये क्या करेगा types. So but then along with the help of few other towing boats and other thing, it finally saw its way, and right now the entire canal was free. So it is like, ask for help. Asking help is also important. Telling the truth, accepting the situation, ask, tell where you are, ask for help. You'll definitely come out of the situation. So it's important.
See, I knew you were there, still in backstage, because you had to add this value. Thank you once again. And I will go back to Alia then. Thank you so much once again, Prabha, for joining us.
Another reason that people get stuck is that we look at other people's abundances and we want it to be for ourselves. And I always use this methodology is that I'm a pear tree and looking at an apple tree and wanting to produce an apple when I'm a pear tree. That is not possible. You have to, as she said, that you have to speak the truth. You have to be truthful to yourself first before you're truthful to anybody else. And to understand that you're unique and you have something to offer, regardless of what it is. If you don't tap into that and you look into others people's abundances, you will miss your own opportunity to be abundant. So it's very important that, and it's not like you are a pear tree. You are a unique pear tree because your soil is different. Your roots are different. Your background, your perspective is different. And this is something else other people go to, is that they look like, say, I'm a coach and you're a coach, or I'm a therapist, or that person's a doctor and the other person's a doctor, and they're like, oh my God, they're all my competition. And it's like, no, they are not your competition. In reality, you have each one an essence of this thing to give. You cannot compare yourself. Yes.
True. True. It's definitely important that you don't compare, and I think success itself is a very subjective idea. For instance, I mean, like what I think of success might not be your definition of success, and to each their own. And everyone has their own journey. For some, success might be having that $1 million mansion and everything else under the sun, and for some, it just might be having peace in your heart and just joy to share with others. That some people find joy in giving, being able to be the philanthropist that they might want to, or they might have looked up to their parents or have that upbringing. And for some, it just might not be, and that's perfectly fine too. So I love what you said about not comparing people with one another. That's super, super important, because that kind of takes away the energy, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely it does. It degrades you. It degrades you in the beginning because you are comparing somebody to someone else. Do you know, if you go to this Clifton Strength test, it's a test that you do and it tells you your attributes, 34 characteristics. And just to have the first 5 aligned with another person like that is 1 in 133,000 million. Just the first 5 attributes. So think about the next 34 to be in that same alignment. And then I go and I compare myself with somebody else. They cannot add that value. And it's like we all have something to give, and we come from that mindset of scarcity because we think that in order for me to be abundant, another person can't be abundant. Well, you know what,
Yep.
abundance is for everybody. It's not only for one person. When I
True.
wish success for somebody else, I'm wishing success for myself as well. So it is a give and take when it comes to energy.
Absolutely. So you spoke to us about feeling stuck. You also what are some strategies that you used? You said it was just taking that first step of standing up with your dad, for yourself was the tough one. Anything else that you might have used? Any other situation where you might have felt stuck? And any other strategies that you used? Because Prabha spoke about water therapy, and connecting with yourself. Any other strategies that come to your mind that you might have used?
To be honest, when I first started this journey, I was really stuck. I didn't know where to go. So I did hire a coach and I did hire a therapist and I did do the process on my own first before I did it on
Hmm.
anybody else so I could find out what am I. I did do personality tests to know who am I, what are my attributes and what are my power that I can give. And then to understand to make peace with my weakness and to understand that those weaknesses are also gifts that I can offer in a different way. So that's the things that I actually do. But when I do feel down, I do love aromatherapy. So I'm a very, very big fan of aromatherapy and I love stones. So different kinds of stone, like I like have like stuff like this, like coral and stuff like that. And they ground me. They make me feel better at that moment. Different people have different techniques. I like sometimes putting my feet in the sand, and that makes me. So I have a sand bucket that I put my feet in the sand and just sit there for a while, or take a bath in Himalayan salt. So those are all things that I like
Epsom
to do when
salts.
I'm not feeling that beautiful. And we're not supposed to feel 100%. We are all in this mindset of being positive toxicity. That's what I call it, because we are not allowing ourselves to feel our emotions or feel the moment. And we need to feel those moments. We need to feel those emotions before we go into that. Let's do affirmations and feel good. No, we need to take out those emotions and live them and then go through that. So I'm seeing a lot of people do that as well. Be like, no, you can't talk about being negative because we're only focused on positive. No, there is a balance here. You have to go through both. We're human.
Absolutely.
If you're going
Definitely.
to be only positive, you're being unrealistic. You're being
True.
very unrealistic. So yeah, this is something that I had to comment on that one because I see that on a constant basis.
Yeah, and there's this whole pressure to feel positive all the time, to have optimism. And sometimes I feel like, for instance, I've been doing my daily videos. What now? May 1st will be 3 years since I've been doing my daily videos, and I feel this need to always be in at an energy level that is high, or at least inviting to people that yes, everything will be fine. But some days even I feel like drained, or I feel like, okay, where is this headed? What's going to happen? Things also go on in my head. And the pressure to be that person who is neutralizing the situation, maybe, can take its toll on someone who is being that voice of positivity. So I like when you say positive toxicity. In fact, earlier today, I saved. Sorry, I shared an article from the New York Times on languishing, the situation where a lot of people are. So it's that stagnation, that emptiness that you're feeling when you're not essentially high up there in terms of energy, or you're not even depressed. So it's somewhere in the middle, but you're there. You're feeling that sense of emptiness, that loss of purpose, which is what led me to the topic for today, which is from feeling stuck to unstuck.
I want to say something, Rukaya, that I do. I
Yes,
personally
please.
do on my own Instagram, okay? Because I am a source of teaching people how to change their mindsets, and I am a source of teaching people how to heal themselves and make them feel better. But I also want to prove and show I'm human as well. I have my bad days, and I make sure that when I do have my bad days, I post that I have a bad day and I'm crying here on social media because I want you to know I'm not fake. I'm human. I have those days as well. The thing is that in order to be positive is to, when you have those moments, how do you deal with those emotions and feel those emotions first, and understand them, and then go from there to say, okay, I'm going to show compassion to myself because I have those feelings. And how can I, after that, after I acknowledge those feelings, I shift my perspective, shift my mindset. But it cannot be shifting my mindset first without acknowledging my feelings, because that's what you do here, is you numb your feelings. You do not acknowledge them. And this creates bigger problems in the long run because you suppress those emotions and have not dealt with those emotions. And the thing is that when you're being positive, it doesn't mean that I am all the time positive. It is about me having a 80-20 perspective, which means my default mode is being positive, and I allow myself to have that 20% of negativity, and then I allow myself to feel those feelings, and then I have a strategy. How can I shift it from that 20% to 80% so I don't stay too long in that vibration? It's not about being 100% positive. That doesn't
No,
work. We're
it
human
doesn't.
beings. It will
True
never
that.
work that way. Yeah, it
It,
will never
it
work.
isn't. And something that I always, okay, I'm just going to bring Prabha back on board. I can see she is
Go
in the
ahead.
backstage. Yes, please. Sorry, Prabha. So,
Yes.
so something that I always talk about is that perfection is flawed. The concept of perfection is flawed. You can't be at 100% all the time. Yes, you can push as hard as you want to, but you can't always be at 100%. You and it's okay to not be okay. That pressure of always having to show up as best as you can is great, but it's all right also to not be all right. Any thoughts on this? Maybe Prabha could share in her insights.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you, because I also feel if it's not perfect, let it be. I am what I am. I have to accept myself what I am. If everything is same, where comes the individuality? If all
Hmm.
five fingers are same, then what is the importance of the thumb, the index finger, or the middle finger, the ring finger, or the little finger? Each is having its own importance. So I, me, myself as an individual, you can't compare me with you or her. I'm an individual. I have certain traits, certain personalities, certain behavior, and that is why I am me and you are you. You are unique in your own ways, and you may be loved by somebody for a certain trait. I may be loved by somebody for a certain trait. We may not be same. That's what I feel. So we as an individual have to be individual. And the common thing is we all are human beings.
True,
Humility
true.
is good. So I always go for the 3H, which I have learned from somewhere: happy from
Stays.
within, be humble to the society, and be hungry to learn a new thing.
Wow, I like that. So,
Beautiful.
would you like to tell us more about this? Be happy from within, be humble, is what you said,
Society,
and to
be
society.
hungry, be hungry to learn a new thing.
Wow. Okay.
That I feel like keep changing. I am also in the transformation stage right now. I had
Hmm.
read somewhere, what has got you here will not get you there.
True.
So
True.
that's what, as I mentioned earlier, that the clock, it keeps moving, keeps moving. Try new things, change your perspective if you are stuck. So, and you know what? If you meet anybody, be it in the train, be it in the aeroplane, I love talking to people, as I have mentioned. And each individual will definitely teach you something at the end of 10 minutes also. You learn a new thing. We
True
are
that.
each individual are a learner. We have come in this world. And as I mentioned, be hungry to learn, and you'll definitely learn. You don't know what a 10-year boy boy who is sitting just next to you may teach you a life lesson which you have never thought. You may not have seen things from that angle. You must have seen many pictures, in on the internet, a boy who is not having anything to eat or whatever. I really like that concept of Ubuntu. I am a big fan of Ubuntu, the African philosophy. And actually, it so started that my son had to prepare for a storytelling session, and I was preparing the props, and I came across this philosophy. And somehow it touched me so much. And I feel like if you give three, you will get back 10. Definitely, the world is there. And the energy which is revolving around us, what we call karma, whatever, the positive energy, your positive vibes definitely helps. So if you
True
help
that.
a person, need not be that the same person is going to help you. Somebody else, in what form, God knows.
True that. So, so I love what you said, and Ubuntu is definitely something that I also appreciate a lot. And it's all about family. It's about understanding that at the end of the day, we're all one. We're all one humanity. And as you can see, we're all three of us are in different places, different parts of the world. Yet there is a common thread between the three of us in terms of the challenges, in terms of how we're thinking, and isn't that beautiful in itself? Okay, I'm just going to ask you, has there ever been a time where you probably wished you hadn't done what you did?
Yes, definitely. I
Okay.
can't. I mentioned we all do make mistakes, but then I do not have to be stuck at that particular moment. I may have made mistakes. Now I'll have to think, how can I do something better? I may have done. Like, I don't want to live my life thinking after, let's say, 20 years from now and sit back and think, I wish I could have, I wish I should have, I would have. So, whatever you have done, you have already done. That is in the past. Think of
Yeah,
the future. You
true.
can't undo what you have already done. You may have made mistakes in your job, your relationship. Go and say sorry. If you have done, you accept it. Say sorry. Move ahead. Think how you can do that thing better. That's what I feel.
I love this.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said. It,
Brilliant.
and the thing is that she said something very beautiful, which is humbleness. We need to let go of that ego. We need to let go of I have to be better than somebody else. We need to let go of, you know, as she said, to forgive others. And it's very important when we become humble. That does not also mean that we lose our shine, that we don't be ourselves. Humbleness comes as well as being our authentic self, but honoring others at the same time. And part of being humble, it's not only about giving, but being humble to receive as well. Because
Yep.
the universe gives us a lot of things that we can have, but a lot of people feel that being humble, I should not receive, I should not ask for
Hmm.
help, as she said as well. We all feel that feeling of, oh my God, why did I do that, why did I mess up? But if we understand the bigger picture, if we understand that everything in life happens for a reason. I know at that moment you don't feel that way, but then looking back at it, you will see how everything clicks and how everything is not a coincidence. You will feel that, you know what? Yeah, maybe I should have more trust. Maybe I should let it go. Maybe I should be the one that does the first step so that the goodness replies to me in folds. And the beautiful thing, and Master Sherry Koshner actually teaches, is that when you manifest, you want to manifest for yourself. Stop manifesting for yourself. Manifest for the society, for the humanity, for the universe, and you will get that in folds. And it's very true because a little seed of kindness goes a long way. So it's very, very important.
Super. I do agree. And on that note, I would like to thank you, Alia, for your time, and I will bring in my next speaker on board.
Thank you
All
very much
right.
for having us,
Thank you.
Ruqayya. Thank you. It's such an honor.
All right. Thank
Take
you.
care.
Thank you,
You
Alia.
too.
Take care. Bye bye.
Bye.
Okay, and we have Dr. Yasmin. Hello
Hi,
there.
how are
Hi
you?
there.
Good to
I
see you,
am good.
Rufaya.
Thank you. Same here. So, thank you for joining us this evening. And
My pleasure.
the conversation today is around moving from feeling stuck to unstuck. And I was just wondering, and before we get into that, would you tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, and we can take it from there.
Thank you so much, Rokaya, for inviting me to be part of your show.
Thank you.
I hope it's not too noisy where I'm at. My name is Yasmin. I am a pediatric dentist, and I love kids so much that I would like to dance and sing and just enjoy my time extracting teeth, but dancing and singing all the while. So this is who I am in a nutshell. And I've known you for years and years and years. And I'm delighted to be here. And it's actually such a good topic. And it's a very, very, very interesting topic.
Thank you. So, well, we've had two speakers already, and both of them it was lovely because we had Alia who had joined us all the way from Saudi, and then we had Prabha
Nice.
from India, and though we come from different cultures, the conversation was like this string, where pearls of experience, literally, yeah, and similarities. So we spoke about being stuck. So, have you ever been stuck in life? Is the question that I'd like to ask you.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure hundreds of times. That's what it goes, you know. Life is not like this, or else it's not going to be challenging. Life, the great thing about life is it's like this. You go up and you go down and you're wee.
And what were certain things that you used as strategies, perhaps, to move from feeling stuck to unstuck?
So that is a very, very, very good question. So the strategies that after maturity and time I can share with you is I first take a step back. You know, when you're angry or you're upset and you have so much emotion invested in whatever you're stuck in, you just like you're chasing your tail. You're unable to find the right solution or the right answer because you are not seeing things clearly. So whatever I do is I take time out. I spend time with me. I get myself distracted. I find ways not to be thinking of what I want. And subhanAllah, I always look for how to change my energy. I believe in energies, and I believe like an energy of anger is not gonna allow you to resolve the issue. An energy of regret is not gonna make you find the door. And when I dig deep, but without like pressure. I'm not trying to dig. I'm just trying to give myself a break, trying to connect with myself, trying to give love to myself. That's when it hits me. That's when the solution of whatever I'm stuck in, whatever I'm not liking, whatever I'm not happy with, comes and finds me. It comes and
Hmm.
finds me. I don't find it. And it's, you know what, Raqaya? It's a this faith. It's
Hmm.
all about faith and connection with God and yourself. And I always remind myself, for example, if you have such a big issue and you don't know, let's say you need 100K thousand like right now and you don't have that money. Something like this, you'll be like, this is hopeless. I'm never gonna get the money. Oh my God, it's the end of the world, right? But if you remember that God is great, you don't have to have all the answers. You don't know what God's going to do. You don't know who's going to send you the money. You don't know anything. Just have faith. It's hard, Ruqayya. But
Hmm.
when you do it and you remind yourself it's okay, I have God to help me, it helps. It helps a lot.
Definitely. I mean, that's so profound because now in the situation that we all are with the pandemic,
Mm,
it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming. So many of us are just feeling like, when is this going to end? Including me, with two hands up, including me. But when you remind yourself that, okay, no matter what, I have a roof over my head, I have food on the table. There's so much that I
Alhamdulillah.
have. Alhamdulillah, exactly. There's so much to be grateful for.
I
Yes, that
know.
that just feels like something to a sigh of relief and so much of gratitude.
And something that makes it feel a little bit better. It's okay, it's progress. And you don't have to come unstuck all the way 180 degrees. It's just that, oh, wait a second, there is hope. Oh, wait a sec, I'll be fine. It's okay, I'm okay. I've survived in the past, then I'm right here, right? And it's human to be scared or stuck and the fear. Like actually today I had such an interesting conversation. oh my God, today I had such an interesting conversation with a friend of mine, and she was saying something about this, and I was like, you know what? I love you so much as a sister. Let me ask you to go check your energy. And she was like, oh, yes, my energies, I'm scared. And it's normal. We are human. We will be scared. We will be hungry or jealous or fearful or overwhelmed or anxious or stressed. And it's okay. That's part of life. That's what makes
It's part, it's part of life. It's part of what it's, and it's interesting how it's part of life, and life is becomes then the stories that we tell ourselves. And on that note, I'm going to bring in our next speaker, who is Joe, who is a storyteller. Hi,
nice.
Joe. Thanks
Hey,
for
Joe.
joining us.
Hi, how are you?
Thank you. So, thank you for joining us, Joe, and tell us a little bit about you.
Well, Raya, first I want to say that growing up, I had to deal with the fear of being constantly misunderstood by my parents, especially when it comes to expressing what's important for me. And because I felt often disconnected from my inner circle, I focused my life on building and helping others build meaningful, long lasting connections with the loved ones. So
Hmm.
now, and for the last 15 years, I'm helping entrepreneurs grow the relationship with those who matter to them through value based communication with a purpose, whether at work, with their clients, or even in their personal life.
Super. And it looks like this is like this common thread, because even the speakers that I had prior to Yasmin were speaking about parents and how they had to stand up for themselves and kind of put
Sure.
themselves out there and say that this is what I would like to do with my life. One had to kind of go on this rampage because she wanted to join the army, and the other had a different, her dad wanted her to be an engineer, so an architect, sorry. So it's interesting how there is this commonality between us, and the conversation today. So today we're talking about moving from feeling stuck to unstuck. So, Joe, have you ever felt stuck in life?
But I'm going to talk briefly about twice where I was stuck. First
Yes,
time
please.
was in 2016, after being here for 11 years in Dubai. Due to problems with the visa, I found myself stuck in Lebanon, physically stuck in Lebanon.
Okay.
Everything is here. I cannot come back. I even had people come to buy, to actually sell everything. My career stopped, and I'm in Lebanon. I'm in a market that, well, it's my country, but I never worked there. So it's a new market for me, and I'm like, what am I doing here? So I had two situations. It's either I will keep on thinking why me and why I'm not there, or say, okay, what do I have now? And I started with gratitude, with the network, with the friends, with who I know, with the people I grew up with everything I know and I can learn. And I learned a little bit of marketing, and 3 years later, I kept my vision on, and I came to Dubai. Well, you know what? The best thing about hitting rock bottom is that the only way is up. So actually, you look up because on everyday basis we're looking horizontally. We rarely
Yep.
look up.
Yep.
So basically, looking up when we're hitting the floor on our back, we're looking up. And the second one was a year ago in the middle of COVID. I had 3 discs dislocated on my neck. I was literally on my back. And back
Ouch.
then, I had a near career death experience. I was like this. I, I've been a filmmaker for 20 years. And imagine I cannot do this anymore. So I'm on my back. I'm like, yeah, this is over. And I remembered, hey, it's not your first time, Joe. Let's do it again. Gratitude again. And say, okay, what do I know? I'm an NLP coach. I'm a filmmaker. I can help people do their films. I can help them on communication, inner communication, external communication. And I learned because I was in COVID. I learned in a new program to help people through marketing. So I added one new skill to myself. And then now, well, a year ago, I wouldn't imagine myself being like this, talking to you. So now I'm with a toolbox of skills, and hey, looking forward.
Awesome. I
Good
love
job.
this toolbox of skills. And I love what Yasmin spoke about faith. And it's
Yes.
so important. And even when we're praying, we're looking up to God, to universe, to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to take care of us, because we know we he's got our back, so it's going to be all right. So what are Yasmin, I know you're outside and you might want to leave in some time, so I'm just going to ask you quickly 3 things as strategies that you would recommend to anyone who's feeling stuck today.
That's a fantastic question, Rokaya. I would first say connect, connect with yourself, meditate on it, sit on it, change your energy. Instead of focusing on the negative energy or the negative side, sit with yourself and understand, what is this really about? What do you want? Think of what you want. Usually, when you ask people, what do you want? Say, I don't want. Okay, what do you want? No, I don't. So don't think of what you don't want. Think of what you want. And you know what? Just think of what you want. Have faith. Do it. Just jump. It's going to manifest. It's going to happen. That solid faith will make it happen.
I love this.
These are my
And
three strategies.
thank you so much. And I really wanted you today on the show, and made it happen. So thank you so much
My
for
pleasure.
joining
My
in spite
pleasure,
of being
really.
outside. So thank you.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Rukaya, and thank you, Joe. All the best. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you, definitely.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. All right.
Yeah.
So springing back from being on your back, quite literally,
Yeah.
tell us how you did it. And that too in the middle of COVID. I didn't know this bit about you.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. Gratitude is number one. Is gratitude. 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 And gratitude is about knowing who you are, what you have, instead of what you don't have. And there are 2 things. Well, the past cannot change, and the future is unknown. And this is something that we constantly forget. We forget that there is nothing we can do about the past, and there is no way we know the future. Well, the only way to work for a better future is now, is being in the now. So gratitude, being in the now. And the third thing, always have your vision on, even when you don't see the end of the tunnel. Because I literally wasn't seeing the end of the tunnel. I was like, there is a vision, and I will go there. I will go there, and my mind, when you put your vision in the back of your mind, well, it's like a projector, It's
Yes.
projecting this vision in front of you like a theater, It's a cinema theater. You have your vision, and it's always on, always on. Whatever happens, always have a vision where you want to go. So yeah,
True. Having that vision is so important. And I think the reason that a lot of us feel stuck is because we're not looking up. I love what you said about looking up. We're just looking at the horizontal level, and we're looking at the hole that we are in. So if we could, and if you look at it from the NLP perspective also, when you're looking up, you're connecting
visual.
with, yeah, visually. You're also creating visuals in your mind. There's creating a potential future. So that's so powerful as a tool, not just
Yeah,
mentally but also physically, to be looking
yeah.
up and while you pray.
And
So
okay, I
brilliant.
just want to add something. Uh,
Yes, please.
if we notice, the children like to be held. Yeah, it's not only because of safety. This is what we think, that they want a cuddle. Children like to see the vision of the world from our point of view, because what they see is either looking up or looking down, and they want to actually be up. So asking for help, asking for somebody to actually help us see the bigger vision, a higher vision, this actually
Yes,
help the inner child in us.
love this. I'm actually supposed to be typing in saying look up, and I'm writing love this. That's how much I love it. Yeah, it's nice, no, when you also look up to somebody, right?
Yes.
Even that expression, when you're looking up to somebody, is when you are looking at them for being that role model, when you're looking up at somebody for being a sense of hope, somebody whose path you would like to follow or walk with. So yes, so beautiful. Looking up is so important. Great. So what would be your 3 strategies for somebody who is feeling stuck in life?
What, gratitude,
Gratitude, of course.
and always look up, look at your
Yes.
vision, look up, and be in the present.
Yeah. But what about, I'm just going to play the devil's advocate. I always love doing that on the show.
Yeah, of course.
But when you're looking at the present, if it's feeling overwhelming, if you're feeling like it's too much to handle for today,
Yeah, well, if you look at the present without gratitude, it's gonna be dark. But first, the present, I said it, the third one, it's gratitude, knowing what you have. Second, have a vision, and then look at the present. Not look at the present while you're in the mud. So put your head up, see what you have, look at the vision, and then think about yourself in the present and how you can move forward.
absolutely right. And I'm known as a smile strategist because I help people get from feeling stuck to unstuck using a smile strategy. And the whole TEDx talk is based on the word Alhamdulillah, which is gratitude and acceptance, which is you. And I don't go into the gratitude part of it because we're taught to say thank you since we're little, right? We're even as little children, we're taught to say thank you. We're taught to be grateful, be kind, be courteous. But acceptance, now that's the tough one. And especially during the times that we are in there, the pandemic, and not knowing when travel will open up, not knowing when you get to see your loved ones. And yes, this is me speaking, the mother. So you don't know when what's going to come together. So just coming to that place of acceptance. And I love what you said, gratitude, looking up and being in the present, acknowledging the things around us, the people around us, who you can reach out to, is so important. And again, to build your relationships not from a purpose or intention of always only being the one reaching out, but also being there for somebody.
Yes.
It's so important. So, what are your thoughts on relationships?
Oh, relationships. Well, um, I live for relationships. The most beautiful connections we have as humans are our relationships. But relationships don't come always from the outside to the outside. There is an inner relationship, there is a vertical relationship with the transcendence, and
Yes.
there is the horizontal relationship. So there are three relationships, and each one of them is as important as the other. The connection that we have with others is just one of them. It's like a circle, and then there is like a tunnel, and then there is like the core inside that actually links everything together. Because there is something that I really love. You cannot pour water from an empty cup.
True.
So if you don't have a cup, if you try to give and to have a relationship or anything, it's just empty. And how to fill it? Well, when you fill it down. So you get to this transcendence. You connect to the universe, to everything around you. You connect this energy, this transcendental energy. You get it inside. You look into your inner self, and then you give and receive. And someone said it. It's learn to receive. It's not only
Yes.
learn to give. Giving. It's another form of ego. Means giving all the time is. I always say to people, it's a you have pleasure when you give someone, right? Yeah, of course. Okay. So when you don't accept to receive, you're denying the pleasure for someone else. So look at this pleasure that you're having. You're denying it. You're denying someone to invite you. You're denying someone to gift you. You're denying someone to pay for you in the restaurant. I don't know, anything. You're denying the other person to have this pleasure. So what is this selfishness of keeping the pleasure of giving to ourselves? Well, share it. Share it and receive.
Beautiful. I never thought of it this way. Seriously. I mean, when you say it that way, it makes complete sense. You're depriving the other person of the pleasure of giving to you. And also you're depriving yourself that pleasure of receiving, of
Yes.
giving to yourself when
Yeah.
you say no. Yes. And thank you. That was so powerful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Any And we're almost closing the hour now, and I think this is what I intended for with this format of the show was, yes, we have each time a single speaker and there's just one topic, and today also we had just one topic, but today we brought in so many shades and thoughts and personalities, people from different parts of the world, and people who might be from different cultures, yet there was this link, there was this
Yeah.
similarity in how they showed up and what came for them in their world. So thank you, Joe, for being the storyteller that you are, and loved having you on the
Thank you
show.
for having me.
Thank you. And thank you, everyone who joined in. Do leave in your thoughts. Have you ever felt stuck in life? And if you did, what was something that you did to get you from feeling stuck to unstuck? I look forward to hearing from you and wishing you a happy rest of the day. Thank you once again, Joe, for your time. Thank you. So I'm just going to play my little show reel. Good night, everybody.